Hi there, Ann. I'm going to be assessing your baby today, okay? My name is Nicholas. Alright, so what we're going to do is just do a head-to assessment and then do some vitals, alright? Alrighty. So, perform hand hygiene. Alrighty, so first let's get you all swaddled up here. Okay. So first thing I want to do is listen to all the stuff I need to listen to first. So I'm going to be listening to respirations, heart rate, and bowel sounds. So I'm going to go ahead and listen to respirations. Respirations need to be 30 to 60, and I'll listen to a full minute because babies are historically known to be abnormal. So listen to full minute for each. Then also heart. So listen to heart rate. Heart rate should be 100 to 160. Again, listen for a full minute. Okay. Next thing I'm going to do is listen to bowel sounds, all 4 quadrants. So listen to them. Okay. Once that is done, we are good to go if she cries. So, next thing I'm going to do is temp. So temp needs to be done axillary. Pretty much the normal temp is 97.7 to 99.5. And you can't do it orally and you can't do it rectally. Gotta be axillary. Okay. Once that's done, we have all of our vitals because we don't do blood pressures. Next thing I need to do is look at the baby's head. So I'll go ahead and take off the hat here. I then will start feeling around. So feeling if there's any molding at all. There's not. If there's any soft spots on the baby's head, so I will feel around for that. If there is, describe the location, so anterior or posterior, also how large it is as well. Also start feeling for the lines on the baby's head as well, see where they're at. I would also check to see if there's succidium, and that is swelling around the head. And then I would also check to see if there's cephalohematoma, and that's one-sided swelling, but that's usually due with blood underneath the skin as well. Okay. So once the head is done, I'll put the hat back on. I'm trying to keep the baby warm and comfortable as much as we can through this process. Next thing I want to assess is the eyes. So we do a 1/3 rule. So 1/3 of the eye needs to be with 1/3 of the nose and 1/3 of the other eye. It needs to be symmetrical. Next thing I will do is the nose. So I will kind of close off the nostril here, kind of feel if they're breathing on one side of the nostril, they are, and then close the other one and kind of feel as well, and they are. Next thing I'll do is the ears. So we pretty much just draw an imaginary line from the outer bit of the eye right here across to reach the top of the ear. This will tell us if the ear sits low or high, and they sit pretty much normal. Next thing we'll want to do is the mouth. So at this point in time, we'll get gloves. Okay, gloves are on. What we'll do is touch around the face right here. This will do a response where the mouth will open. We'll go ahead and stick our finger in. And at this point in time, we're feeling the top of the mouth, roof of the mouth, for any hard or soft parts of it. And then also once we feel it's hard, which is what we want, we will want to feel if they are sucking on our finger. This is a sucking response, and that is normal. Once that is done, we'll go ahead and go to the neck. So with the neck, we're going to take our 2 fingers here and just go around the outside. We're feeling for any masses, anything along those lines. Now this may, tickle the baby or something along those lines. So their head might move side to side or something along those lines. This is a good way to test the range of motion on their neck. Next would be the clavicle. So we're feeling if the clavicle is intact, it's broken at all, we need to report that because that can happen during vaginal birth. Next thing we'll want to do is we'll want to check the breathing, how they are breathing. So how we do that is we check for signs of respiratory distress. So that would be nasal flaring, grunting, we'll have seesaw respirations. So that is when the chest rises, the abdomen falls. And then when the abdomen rises, the chest falls. We'll also have apnea as well. This is greater than 20 seconds of not breathing. And that's the signs for respiratory distress. Another thing we want to do is check the abdomen. Is it round? So the shape of it. Is it soft when you palpate it? We've already listened to bowel sounds, so we don't have to worry about that. Next is the umbilical cord. Is it dry? Does it have any drainage with it? Is it wet? Those are some things that we want to know and document. Next thing I would want to do is check down below here. So my gloves have still been on. So I'll go ahead and check down below here. If it's wet or if there is poop in it, we need to change it. You're the first one there, you get to change it. We also want to see, because this is a female, the labia minora is underneath the labia majora. Also, we want to see if there's any discharge from or drainage from the vagina. There might be some red spots, but that might be because of mom with her hormones coming into baby, and stuff like that. If it is a male, we need to check to see if it's circumcised or not circumcised. We need to check to see where the urinary meatus is, location-wise. We need to check the scrotum. So we need to check to see if there's a lot of rugae or not at all rugae, how deep's the rugae. And then we also need to check the testes. So we need to check the testes. If this was the scrotum, we would want to check it with kind of 3 fingers kind of pulling down just to see how far the testes have descended. And that is it for that. So go ahead and close it on back up and change it if we need to change it. At this point in time, I'll check the legs. So I'm checking to see if there's any folds at all. And there are, which is great. We want a lot of folds. That means a up-to-term baby. We also want to check the Babinski's reflex. So this is coming from the heel, and on the pinky side of the heel, go up and then go across. This will cause the toes to fan out. And with assessing the toes here, there are 5 toes. And then we'll also do the Babinski as well on this one and check the folds and check the toes as well. We are also going to check the arms. So again, checking for any creases or anything along those lines, and then checking for any webbing, and also checking how many fingers they have for each arm. Again, same thing. And at this point in time, I'll do I will hold their arm up and then down, and then they will tense up. They will flex for each one. Okay. All right. After that, I'm going to check their skin. So I'm checking for any birthmarks, any bruising, anything along those lines. I'll check for jaundice here. So I'll check the forehead, then I'll check the chest, then the abdomen, then the thigh, and then back at the eyes. I will note the color of his skin as well. Now, and for skin turgor as well, I will check. Okay. Now I'm going to flip the baby over here. I'll be assessing the spine. So with the spine, I'm checking to see, is it straight? Is it curvy? Is anything along those lines? And make sure to note that. If there's any hair tufts, any dimples near the coccyx, we'll be checking for that as well. Okay. Flip baby back over. And also when I'm on the back side, I'm checking to see if there's any signs of rash or something along those lines. Or any birthmarks. Next thing I want to do is the Moro sign. So I'm just going to lift the crib up just a little bit and make sure the baby's kind of out. Just kind of lift it up and kind of bring it down a little bit, or I can clap as well. This will cause the baby to shoot their arms up and make a C, which is normal. I'll go ahead and put baby back here. Keep it nice and okay. At this point in time, I would also make sure to say the baby didn't make a sound during the assessment, or if they did make a sound, make sure to know how well they acted in the assessment. I'm gonna ask mom, when's the next time that baby needs to be fed, and when's the last time that diaper was changed? She would then proceed to tell me, and then I'll ask if she needs anything at all. Nope. All right, that'll be the end of my assessment.